But yeah, man. Um, Asia Wilson, man, commanded $19.
Caitlin Clark doesn't just move the needle, she is the needle. And if you need any more proof of that, the Indiana Fever exhibition game sold out in just about 30 minutes.
Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces just got smacked with a harsh reality check. And let's just say, it ain't pretty. While the Indiana Fever's preseason game sold out in less than an hour, Asia and her crew are practically handing out tickets like they're free drink coupons at a happy hour. Caitlin Clark isn't just outshining the so-called best player in the WNBA. She's making the reigning MVP look completely irrelevant. Did Wilson forget to send out a group text reminding people she still exists? Did the Aces marketing team get too caught up in a free buffet? Whatever the reason, someone needs to call up Vegas's front office because they might need Clark just to fill the stands. And, let's be real, this is making Asia Wilson downright furious.
This, by the way, is driving Asia Wilson fans nuts. They're furious that this is happening on the same day. Why are they doing this? Oh my God, don't they realize the impact of Asia Wilson, blah, blah. What impact? Stop it.
Meanwhile, over in Indiana, it's total chaos. Fever fans are doing everything but camping out just to catch a glimpse of Caitlin Clark in a preseason game. The matchup, held at the University of Iowa, Clark's old stomping grounds, didn't just sell out, it sent ticket prices soaring into the stratosphere. Resale sites are going nuts, with seats going for thousands of dollars. The cheapest ticket left? A casual $400 to $500. That's right, $1,000 just to see Clark warm up before the real season kicks off. Fans are treating this like it's Game 7 of the WNBA Finals.
But yeah, it's a big situation again. Like Caitlin Clark selling out Iowa, sold out a preseason game. People saying it sold out in 40 minutes. This is within 20 minutes. Like obviously you couldn't get onto the damn website. It's sold out. You could have been trying to refreshing the page and not got tickets. Most of the time, it officially sold out in 40 minutes, but like realistically, it almost crashed the website.
But let's talk about what's going down in Las Vegas, because it's getting downright embarrassing. The so-called powerhouse of the WNBA can't even get people to cough up a measly $19 for a ticket. That's less than what you'd spend on a meal at a decent restaurant. At this point, the Aces might as well start handing out buy one, get one free deals just to fill a few rows. You'd think a team loaded with MVPs, All-Stars, and Olympians wouldn't have to beg people to show up. But here we are.
The Las Vegas Aces. So, let me see how much it's going to bust my pockets to go see the Aces in their first preseason game, man. $19, jeez.
The contrast is insane. In Indiana, fans are battling just to get a seat in the nosebleeds for the chance to see Clark's debut. In Vegas, you could stroll in late, grab some nachos, and still have your pick of premium seats. And here's the truth. This isn't just about ticket prices, it's about demand. People are going above and beyond to be in the building for Clark, while the Aces are over here desperately hoping someone, anyone, shows up to check out their so-called historic team.
I just want to point that out. As an Indiana Fever fan, I mean, there are people who are willing to pay all kinds of money to get tickets. There are people who are buying merch off, like flying off the shelves, basketball, all kinds of stuff. And they're begging to buy that shoe. That's why I said, Nike, I don't know what the deal is. I'm not into the contract or anything like that. They got something, whatever their agreement is, that's their agreement. I'm saying, though, when that shoe shows up, they better prepare.
Let's put this into perspective. The resale price for 2 courtside Fever tickets to a preseason game could easily cover a round-trip flight to Vegas, a fancy hotel stay, and a pricey steak dinner with enough left over to buy Aces tickets and still have cash in your pocket. That's how insane this gap is. Indiana Fever fans aren't just excited, they're part of a movement. Meanwhile, the Aces are over here practically begging people to take seats like it's some kind of charity event.
Remember, fans are for real Indiana Fever fans, and they buy tickets. They sell out arenas, home and away. They buy merch.
Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA, she flipped the entire league's hierarchy on its head. The Fever, A team that was barely on the map for years is now the hottest thing in basketball. And the Aces? Well, they just got a brutal reminder that banners don't always fill seats. Clark is the future, and Vegas better hope they don't get left in the dust.
They're sold out, so I really don't know what they're gonna do about this. I guess it's just kind of like one of those missed opportunities, and you know, a lot of people are saying they need to move this to a stadium because there's no doubt in Iowa, if you move this to a stadium, it would be sold out.
A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces can try all the damage control they want, but the numbers don't lie. There's just no hype. Some will blame it on the market, claiming Vegas has too many entertainment options. But let's be real, Indiana isn't exactly Times Square, yet the Fever are selling out games at record speed, while the Aces are practically handing out tickets like free samples at a grocery store. Two-time champions, stacked with talent, yet their tickets are gathering dust in the bargain bin. That's not a market problem. That's an interest problem.
Did you see how many people showed up to watch Caitlin Clark play golf? With actual attention, economics at play, Caitlin's participation in any league has an existential bearing. Nobody outside of A'ja herself cares about whether A'ja shows up.
A'ja Wilson, the so-called face of the league, can't even get enough fans in the stands to cover the cost of a standard dinner bill. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, fresh off a history-making rookie season, has the entire world locked in to watch her every move. The Fever stock is through the roof, while the Aces are fading into irrelevance day by day. Fans aren't rushing to see Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, or even Wilson take over. They're lining up, paying top dollar just to catch a glimpse of Caitlin Clark putting on a show.
That's crazy because literally nobody asked, and sources close to A'ja Wilson decided to answer anyway.
Let's be real. When was the last time you saw courtside seats for a reigning MVP going for under $20? That's unheard of. Meanwhile, Clark's games sell out in minutes, and the resale market is going crazy like it's a Super Bowl ticket. It's not even a fair fight. The Caitlin Clark effect is undeniable, and A'ja Wilson and the Aces are just going to have to face it.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of my team.
Think about it. People are out here debating whether Caitlin Clark is changing the game, while A'ja Wilson is struggling to fill an arena like it's open mic night at a coffee shop. The Aces thought they were the hottest team in the WNBA. Then Clark showed up, and suddenly, the entire league shifted to revolve around her.
Because Indiana Fever fans support, not just by running their mouth or running their fingers, they actually do something. And those who may not be able to afford it, they want to do something. And so this is just me saying, way to go, Fever fans. And we love, listen, remember how it was like nobody wants to go play in Indiana? Nobody wants to play with Caitlin Clark. Those fans. And we came to find out when free agency showed up, everybody wanted to go to Indiana and play for the Indiana Fever and play with Caitlin Clark. And when they got here, started praising the fans.
Aces fans love to pull the back-to-back champions card. But here's the real question. What's the point of being a dominant team if nobody's watching? You could stroll into an Aces game 5 minutes before tip-off and still snag a front row seat like it's a clearance sale. Meanwhile, trying to get a ticket to see Caitlin Clark play is like trying to score front row seats to a Beyoncé concert, gone in seconds. There are levels to this, and Caitlin Clark is showing she's in a league of her own. The WNBA's future has arrived, and the Aces just got left behind.
I shouldn't be surprised, and yet I'm still surprised because Indiana Fever preseason, not even like preseason, exhibition game, where the Indiana Fever are going to play the Brazilian national team at Cover Hockey Arena, Caitlin's college facility, sold out. They went on sale this morning at 9 a.m. for Fever season ticket holders, Iowa donors, and Iowa season ticket holders for women's basketball. And then general admission was supposed to go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm hearing rumblings of like maybe scalpers got in, like the secondary market is already crazy, but it was sold out and a bunch of season ticket holders couldn't even get their tickets. Iowa Women's Basketball posted this on their Instagram and on their Facebook just a few minutes ago that, hey, it's already sold out. No point in trying to get tickets tomorrow for the general public because you can't.
Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's rewriting the entire sports landscape. She's turning casual fans into die-hard supporters, with people who've never watched a WNBA game suddenly rushing to buy jerseys, lining up for tickets, and filling arenas they didn't even know existed. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson's games? It's like watching a midweek high school scrimmage, half-empty seats, concession stands hawking 2-for-1 popcorn deals like it's a garage sale. Aces fans can scream about disrespect all they want, but the truth is simple. If the demand was actually there, the ticket sales would tell a different story.
Also, Complex has put out their 10 most influential women in sports. And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1.
Caitlin Clark did it again. As if shattering records on the court wasn't enough, she just scored another huge victory without even having to tie up her sneakers. Complex just crowned her the most influential female athlete, solidifying her place as the biggest name in sports at the moment. And the best part? She edged out Angel Reese, who, predictably, isn't taking it too well.
So, it's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of, just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
That's right. While Clark is out here racking up awards, growing the game, and making history, Reese is busy scrambling for excuses, pretending like this honor doesn't matter. But let's be honest, if Reese had won, we'd never hear the end of it. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, she's doing what she does best, downplaying Clark's accomplishments while spending more time on TikTok than in the gym.
Announcing the top 10 most influential athletes right now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark, check. Breaking records. Caitlin Clark, check. Proving their impact goes far beyond the game, from sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion. These women are leading the way. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only one right answer. There's only one correct choice.
Let's set the record straight. This isn't just about an award. It's about who the fans are really backing. One player has everyone tuning in for her mind-blowing talent, and the other, well, she's famous for making headlines for everything but basketball. Some see this as a rivalry, but let's be real. It's not much of a competition when one player is actually winning.
What is your stance on that? So my whole thing was when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm cool. The pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm all right, cool. I can just hoop. So I'm all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
And they're oh.
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to figure things out.
All right, let's break it all down. Why did Clark take home this award? What makes her influence so undeniable? And most importantly, why is Angel Reese acting like she got robbed? We're about to dive into the numbers, the impact, and the hilarious aftermath.
And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. I think it's hilarious. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't believe there's a singular world, where Angel Reese should be ahead of Simone Biles either. There, I put that out loud.
Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she obliterated them. 62 records shattered in a single season. Let that sink in. This isn't just about making history, it's about rewriting the entire record book. No player in WNBA history has ever dominated like this, and we're only in year 1.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the Fever rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
But here's where it gets even crazier. Clark didn't just put up insane numbers, she actually changed the trajectory of an entire franchise. Before she showed up, the Indiana Fever were stuck at the bottom of the league, barely staying relevant. Then Caitlin Clark walked in, and boom, they made the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. That's not just individual greatness, that's team-changing dominance.
The woman who's been putting women's basketball on her back for the better part of 3 years now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball.
Let's talk off-court impact. because this is where Clark leaves the so-called rivals in the dust. WNBA merch sales shot up 500% in her rookie season. Yes, 500%. Jerseys, t-shirts, memorabilia, everything was flying off the shelves. Meanwhile, Reese's jerseys? Just sitting there collecting dust while Clark's sold out in minutes.
This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
This isn't just about jersey sales. Clark's influence is shaking up the whole league's economy. Viewership is through the roof. Arenas that once struggled to fill seats are now packed, but only when Clark's in town. Teams that used to beg for fans are now scrambling to expand seating to keep up with the demand.
So that's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number one. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number one. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. That's right. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Clark's impact is undeniable. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105%.
Even sports economists are stunned by Clark's impact. Thayer Lavielle, a top name in sports business, called her a lightning rod for women's basketball, comparing her to Michael Jordan for how she's boosting the game's visibility and value. And honestly, she's spot on.
Because when we went to the WNBA games and we went to go watch Caitlin Clark when they came to play the Washington Mystics in DC, and they shut that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards played, and it was packed. It was sold out for people to see Caitlin Clark. That did not happen the day before that when they went to Chicago to play Angel Reese.
Let's talk real numbers. Clark's rookie season alone raked in a jaw-dropping $36 million for Indianapolis. Just one player did that, and it's only the start. Experts predict her rise will boost women's basketball's value by $1.6 billion over the next 3 years. Yes, billion with a B.
I'm going to look at this the way I did with Michael Jordan. Now, she's not the Michael Jordan of her sport as far as athleticism, playing, dominating. But A'ja Wilson is the best player in the game. Not even a debate. But I'm talking about value now. Value to a franchise, value to a league, getting your team in the playoffs. They had the number one pick. They were the worst team last year. And there is value that I can attach to that.
So what does all this mean? Caitlin Clark isn't just a superstar. She's a movement. She's doing more than dominating on the court. She's reshaping the entire league's future, bringing in new fans, generating massive revenue, and making women's basketball must-watch TV.
I'm talking about value. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player every single year because of what he meant to his team and what he meant to the league. And, oh, by the way, winning 6 titles. Can't argue with that. Caitlin Clark may not win titles. Las Vegas is still a great team. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, you know, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still sitting there trying to figure out why she wasn't named most influential. Maybe if she spent more time working on her game and less time complaining on social media, she'd get that this is about sports.
This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese, stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up on TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips, and it'll say Angel Reese part 36. And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses, bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe.
Caitlin Clark's journey to these awards might seem like a done deal, but the real story is way bigger. Remember Angel Reese? She was hyped as Clark's biggest competition, with the media pushing this so-called rivalry. It was framed as the ultimate showdown, a season-long battle that had fans hooked. But let's be real, was it ever really close?
Saying Angel Reese is better than Caitlin Clark is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
From the jump, the media pushed the narrative of two rookies battling for WNBA supremacy. But as the season went on, the gap became painfully clear. This wasn't a duel of equals. It was one player dominating the league, while the other spent more time in the headlines than in the box scores.
Oh, Reese! 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it!
Classic long two.
Bang!
PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away.
Bang!
What?
Bang!
I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. They say $1 million for every missed layup is fair.
Bang!
They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages. Remember, they're coming to see her.
Long two, butter pecan, bang!
Then came Rookie of the Year and First Team All-WNBA, and that's when it all came to light. Clark didn't just win, she ran away with it. The so-called competition wasn't even close. As for Reese, she wasn't exactly graceful in defeat. Instead of congratulating Clark, she hit social media to claim Clark didn't deserve the honor. Imagine losing a race by a mile and then demanding a recount.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
But here's the real kicker. Clark's success isn't about trophies or petty rivalries. She's not out here chasing awards. She's revolutionizing the WNBA. Her impact goes far beyond basketball. She's expanding the game, shattering attendance records, and bringing in millions of new fans. Meanwhile, Reese is stuck trying to convince everyone she belongs in the same conversation as Clark. The difference? Clark is changing the game. Reese is just trying to catch up.
So the Indiana Fever fans are furious with this signing. Absolutely furious with the fact the Fever have signed someone who appears to be a Caitlin Clark hater in Brianna Turner.
The Indiana Fever just shook up the entire fan base with a major move. They signed Brianna Turner. But in less than 24 hours, she somehow managed to turn that excitement into a full-blown disaster. That's right. Within a single day, Turner went from the team's latest star signing to public enemy number one.
Brianna Turner, Sky fans hate her. Like, there is no player the Sky fans hated more than Bri Turner, who came on a big contract, a genuinely big contract.
Here's where it gets wild. Turner didn't just ruffle a few feathers, she ignited a full-blown revolt. Fans are already demanding she be cut before she's even played a single game. What on earth did she do to cause such a storm? And how will this affect the Fever's season hopes? We've got the inside scoop, and believe me, you won't want to miss this.
So it looked like the Fever front office has made a huge mistake and screwed up Caitlin Clark for the 2025 season. They have created a hostile work.
Hard to believe, right? In less than 24 hours, Brianna Turner went from the Fever's exciting new signing to public enemy number one. Fans were hyped about landing a defensive juggernaut they thought would help propel the team up the ranks. But then, bam! Old tweets surface, and now everyone's asking, hold up, did Turner just throw shade at Caitlin Clark?
A lot of the tweets and stuff do not look good. Do not look good from Bri Turner.
So, what did Turner actually say? She took a dig at Iowa's celebration for being NCAA runner-up, the same team where Caitlin Clark had an epic season. Turner tweeted, Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runner-up. All players and coaches expected this respectfully. I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does? Oof. Not exactly the best way to win over your new fan base, right?
So, she tweeted this. Iowa will hold a celebration to honor the NCAA runners-up. All players and coaches expected. This is Iowa to hold a celebration. Respectfully, I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up typically does now? Haven't seen this before. But kudos to them for publicly honoring all they've accomplished this season. I'm confused. Is this what a runner-up does? It does if you're Iowa. I'm sorry, it does.
But hold up. It gets even better. When fans started calling her out, Turner didn't backpedal or apologize. Nope, she pretty much told them to take a hike. She tweeted, "Feel free to unfollow me or block me if that is bothersome to you." Yeah, not exactly a warm welcome to your new city, huh?
Let's be real. She tweeted about the whole, do you remember the whole, harassment by the journalist? Or say not by the journalist, by the paparazzi, the TMZ person who tried to ask Kennedy Carter a question. And obviously she went and made a way bigger deal about that than it should have been.
Curious how the fans reacted? Let's just say the internet lost it. Fans were absolutely freaking out online. One fan even said, "The fact that her new team's fan base has been crashing out over this and harassing her for activism says it all. It's like Turner opened a can of worms, then grabbed a fishing pole and went to town."
When Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White and these people came out and basically said at the end of the season, and Kelsey Mitchell and all these people, she was really anti-Fever. I don't think she was necessarily anti-Caitlin Clark with what she said, but she was anti-Fever when everyone was saying, do not platform the trolls.
Here's where things get even juicier. Turner isn't backing down at all. She's holding her ground, and now people are left wondering, what's next? Will the Fever step in and try to smooth things over? Or are they going to let Turner keep tweeting her way into more chaos?
But at the same time, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt because some of these WNBA players have probably never had paparazzi around them in their entire lives. So they might think one person kind of getting in someone's face, ask them a question on the street in a public place is harassment. And do I think on a personal level, the people doing paparazzi stuff is right and good? No, but there's a line. If we're calling that harassment, it's everything harassment.
One commentator couldn't help but point out that Turner didn't even last 24 hours before clashing with fans on Twitter. That's got to be some kind of record, right? It's like she speed ran the How to Alienate Your New Fan Base challenge.
She came out on Twitter saying we needed to platform the trolls. And when somebody responded that we need to platform the trolls and call it out, and it's the responsibility of everyone to call out all this, and it's like, someone responded was like, that's the worst thing you do. These aren't people. These are literally just internet trolls that are doing it for attention. And then she basically doubled down, was like, no, you're wrong. You need to platform the trolls.
You might be thinking, is this really just about a few tweets? Can't everyone just move on? But here's the thing. In today's sports world, social media is everything. It's how players bond with fans, how teams build their brand, and sometimes how careers go off the rails before they even get going.
It was purely a college wants to celebrate greatest team in the history of the college. And she comes out and goes like, why are they doing this? Runners-up shouldn't be doing this. No one would say this word if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. You just know that.
Think about it. The WNBA is on the rise. Caitlin Clark is headed to Indiana, and the Fever are getting more attention than ever. Then, here comes Brianna Turner, looking like she's ready to throw shade at the very fans who are supposed to have her back. It's like she missed the first rule of joining a new team. Don't insult the local hero.
That is the one thing where I'm like, that's the one direct thing with Caitlin Clark. But she has essentially not shown to be necessarily fully anti-Caitlin Clark, but she was definitely in the group of players that you will say you could brand as saying anti-Caitlin Clark stuff.
All right, so Turner's in deep water. What's her next move? Apologize? Try to make peace with the fans? Nope, not even close. She comes out swinging with a tweet that had everyone's jaws hitting the floor. Let me hit you with it. I will not bend the knee or change my online advocacy efforts to appease others while I anticipate receiving criticism, hostility, and invalidation. Can you believe she actually said that?
Instead of her coming in wanting a winning mentality, now Joanna Bonner had said some things online too, but what Brianna Turner just did is just completely disrespected the fan base as a whole.
You might be thinking, all right, Maybe she's just standing firm on her beliefs. But here's the catch. Turner isn't just addressing social issues. She's flat out brushing off the concerns of her new fan base. And let me tell you, Fever fans are not having it. They're already demanding she be cut before she even gets a chance to step on the court.
Now, Brianna Turner is a different type of individual. Granted, she has defensive possibilities, and she's a great addition to have on a bench. But outside of that, she comes with a lot of baggage. Now, that baggage is now causing major concerns online, and people is demanding she be removed from this basketball team.
But hold up, it gets even wilder. Turner's not backing down. She's doubling down, saying she won't change for anyone. It's like she's tossing gasoline on a fire that's already raging. You've got to wonder, does she even care about winning over the fans? Or is she more focused on stirring up drama?
You didn't have no way to mediate anything to where okay, guys, I know y'all feel this way about me. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. How can we move forward this? How can we move forward and past this? Want to know what Tawana Bonner said? You can unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel.
Now, this isn't just about Turner. It's a full-blown crisis for the Indiana Fever. Can you imagine what's going through the front office's minds right now? They're probably in full panic mode, scrambling to figure out how to handle this disaster. Do they stand by their new player and risk pushing the fans even further away? Or do they distance themselves from Turner and risk creating tension within the team?
Now, is that something you want to say when you're newly to a team and you know the fan base seriously do not like you? Is to unfollow me. I'm not changing the way I feel. That right there showed me you don't care about the fans.
But here's where things get really interesting. Turner's attitude might be a bigger issue than anyone realized. This isn't just about one tweet or one player. It's about the whole team dynamic and how athletes have to navigate the tricky world of social media and public perception.
Now, these are the people that has to buy your tickets, watch the games, and pretty much cut your check. Now, I don't know how things was with you in Chicago. Maybe y'all was manipulated, brainwashed, but y'all speaking out and saying things outside of basketball and sparking these race wars is the reason y'all in this position.
Think about it. In today's sports world, players aren't just athletes. They're brands, influencers, role models. And when they join a new team, they're not just swapping jerseys, they're stepping into an entire new community. But Turner? It's like she completely forgot that part of the playbook.
Brianna Turner stated, unfollow me. That was her exact words, bro. Simply telling the fans to unfollow her. How selfish was that?
You might be wondering, is Turner the only athlete who's ever faced backlash for speaking out? Not even close. But here's the difference. Most athletes know how to balance their personal beliefs with their role on the team. They engage with fans, build bridges, and find common ground.
Why come we can't fix the discrimination and get an understanding, meet in the middle? How can we talk this out? Because I'm here now. I know y'all not feeling what I'm putting out, but we need to talk this out instead of telling people to unfollow.
But Turner? She's taking a different approach. It's like she's saying, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. And while that might sound bold at first, it's a risky play in the world of professional sports, because at the end of the day, sports are about more than just the players on the court. They're about the fans in the stands, the community backing the team, and that shared passion for the game.
I know she knew, but we need to have some type of understanding. And we're not having an understanding when you're telling people to unfollow you. Granted, she can't take back what she said, but you don't come right here and slap the people in the face and say, you know what, I'm against this, that, this, and that. If you don't like it, unfollow me.
So, what happens next? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Will Turner stick to her guns and risk becoming a pariah in Indiana? Or will she realize that this fight might not be worth it? Will the Fever step in and try to smooth things over? Maybe make some public gestures to win back the fans? Or will they cut their losses and move on from the drama? And what about the team's chemistry? With all this tension hanging over them, how will it affect the players as they head into what was supposed to be an exciting season? What was meant to be a fresh start could end up being a messy, divisive chapter, one that could have lasting consequences on the court and off. The stakes have never been higher, and it's anyone's guess how it'll all play out.
Thank you. I can't wait to give this to my girlfriend.
You don't have a girlfriend, Mike.
If you thought Caitlin Clark was simply a deadly sharpshooter with an intense, competitive spirit, think again. She's also a comedy mastermind. From roasting her teammates to delivering perfect one-liners and pulling off surprising antics, Clark knows how to keep the laughs coming. Now, let's dive into 10 of Caitlin Clark's funniest moments that had everyone in stitches. Kicking things off is the time Caitlin Clark made an appearance on SNL's Weekend Update. What made this moment so funny and entertaining was that Caitlin came fully prepared with her own jokes written down. It was a hilarious scene, giving the audience and fans a chance to see her comedic side. Michael also delivered an absolutely perfect introduction to Clark, adding to the laughter.
The University of Iowa announced that basketball star Caitlin Clark will have her jersey retired and replaced with an apron. Well, the WNBA draft is this Monday, and Iowa star Caitlin Clark is expected to be the #1 pick. Here to comment is Caitlin Clark.
The audience absolutely loved having Clark in the spotlight, and things got even funnier when Caitlin Clark fired back at Michael's earlier joke by asking him to read some of the jokes she had written herself. The exchange took the humor to a whole new level.
This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for three-pointers in a single season, and I have three-pointers for Michael Che. 1B, 2 funnier, 3...
To wrap up the segment, Caitlin Clark took it up a notch by handing Michael an apron, a nod to his earlier joke when he introduced her to the show. The timing was perfect, and she even took the opportunity to roast Michael a little more, adding another layer of comedy to the moment.
Since you're such a big fan, I brought you a souvenir. It's an apron signed by me.
Thank you. I can't wait to give this to my girlfriend.
You don't have a girlfriend, Mike.
Caitlin Clark, everybody!
At this point, the crowd was absolutely roaring with laughter. The whole exchange only added to the humor, showcasing just how funny and entertaining Caitlin Clark really is. Moving on to number 2, aside from those times when she came prepared with jokes, Clark has had plenty of moments where she cracked a joke off the cuff, leaving everyone in stitches with her spontaneous humor. Like that one time, she tried to make a wordplay joke about cheetahs.
Caitlin, pits of your soul, you're a comedian. Do you have any updated jokes for me?
Why don't they take tests at the zoo? There's too many cheetahs.
What made it even funnier was the way the reporter just stood there, totally dazed and amused, while Clark couldn't help but laugh and smile, fully aware of how mischievous and hilarious the moment was. Now, moving on to number 3, Caitlin Clark doesn't keep her jokes limited to interviews. She's also a pro at the friendly roast. During one interview, the WNBA star was on the court when the reporter decided to test their own shooting skills.
I think you have to go now. Come on. Let's see if you can get it there.
Two more. You know what? I have no legs, so I can come in here.
I feel confident. Let's see.
I'm wearing this jacket.
Oh.
Ugh,
That's
terrible.
not bad. Get it there.
Oh my God.
You gotta jump.
Even though Clark tried to be supportive, she just couldn't help but laugh and throw in a few playful jabs. And when the reporter tried to blame his terrible shooting on his dress clothes and the tight rims, Caitlin wasn't about to let him off the hook that easily.
Tight rims, I'm telling you.
No, I think that might just be you, honestly.
This moment just made Clark even more lovable thanks to her hilarious personality. Coming in at number 4, another unforgettable moment that had everyone buzzing about Caitlin Clark's mischievous side was her visit to a goat petting zoo with her teammates. Watching Clark feed the baby goats quickly turned into pure entertainment, and naturally, she turned the whole thing into her own personal comedy show.
All right, relax. Everybody don't fight over me. Don't fight over me, okay? Wait, I don't remember who I bet.
Fans love seeing Caitlyn and her teammates bond over something other than basketball. But the real comedy came from the fans themselves, who couldn't resist making the perfect joke: the goat feeding goats. Now, halfway through at number 5, Caitlyn Clark's easygoing and cheerful nature really shines when she's around her teammates, both on and off the court. Her bond with Lexi Hull is especially fun to watch. One particularly funny moment happened during an interview when Lexi was answering a question, only for Caitlyn to interrupt with a burst of childish laughter at something Lexi said.
What was your intent there to try to make an impact as well as you did tonight?
Thank you. I would say that's kind of my role.
Respectful.
Caitlyn Clark's reaction to Lexi Hull's innocent comment had the entire room in stitches.
And take advantage of that. Caitlyn? Yeah. We done. Oh, Lord.
Coming in at number 6, Caitlyn Clark and Lexi Hull's dynamic duo wasn't just reserved for the court. The two had fans cracking up once again when they pulled up to a Swig drive-thru to grab some fruit and soda drinks.
Playing with vanilla cream instead of coconut cream. Can I have the beach vape too, please?
What made this even more interesting was that Clark was immediately recognized. But when the friendly lady asked if she was really Caitlyn Clark, Clark responded with a mischievous grin.
You're Caitlyn Clark, right? Maybe.
After being recognized, the owner gifted them golden mugs, guaranteeing them free refills whenever they came back.
Golden mug I want to give you. Golden mug means every time you come through Swig, you just get a free refill.
He said he was going to give us golden mugs. So we'll be back. Yeah.
At number 7, one thing that stands out about Caitlyn Clark is how her teammates not only recognize her playful side, but also encourage it. Of course, sometimes they have to step in to keep her focused, like that time during warm-ups when Katie Lou got the best of Clark, locking in a submission and making her tap out. The whole team couldn't stop laughing. This was a hilarious moment that perfectly captured the fun and bond the team shares. Caitlyn later opened up about it, admitting that she can be a bit of a child sometimes with how playful she gets.
She's just she's a kid sometimes, and keeps everything light, but sometimes you just gotta put her in place.
Coming in at number 8, Caitlyn Clark's humor isn't confined to basketball. She can turn anything into a comedy show. In one unforgettable moment, Lexi Hull caught Clark delivering a full play-by-play commentary on a Philly baseball game.
And that ball's hit to the shortstop. Rojas throws it over to first base, and that's not going to be enough.
The video quickly went viral, perfectly capturing how effortlessly hilarious and entertaining Clark can be. Watching her switch from WNBA star to baseball commentator had fans in stitches.
The Phillies leading 1-0. We'll be back in a minute with a 30-second break.
It was such a viral moment that it even landed Clark an invitation.
The Phillies have taken her up on her offer to broadcast a game.
At number 9, Caitlyn Clark's humor isn't just for her teammates. It extends to her family and friends as well. A perfect example of this is her hilarious moments with her boyfriend, Connor. The two have shared some truly funny interactions.
I just want to sleep for like 3 weeks straight after the season's over.
You want to sleep for 3 weeks straight during the season, too?
That too. I love sleeping. It's awesome.
The thing about Caitlyn is how she'll enthusiastically praise and appreciate Connor for being supportive. But she doesn't hesitate to throw friendly jabs at him, even during interviews. Like that time she casually mentioned that in a shooting competition, she outshoots him every time.
Having some shooting competitions, it gets a little heated. I definitely outshoot him way more than he outshoots me, but he tries to think otherwise.
And finally, at number 10, Caitlin Clark's playful and competitive spirit isn't just for her teammates and friends. It shines through in her family moments too. Her close bond with her family is filled with hilarious exchanges, but one of the best was when she got fouled and started complaining about it, only for her dad to shut it down with a classic, "Stop complaining" response.
Move, and if they're open, she will find them. Martin commits the foul.
And that wraps up our list of Caitlin Clark's funniest moments. From her sharp wit to her playful antics, she never fails to entertain, both on and off the court. Whether she's cracking jokes, roasting teammates, or turning everyday moments into comedy gold, Caitlin proves she's not just a basketball star, she's a natural entertainer. If you enjoyed this compilation, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fun and unforgettable Caitlin Clark moments. The offseason at the Indiana Fever is on fire. Rumors about NaLyssa Smith are swirling, and tensions between her and Caitlin Clark are reaching a boiling point. Let's dive into the drama and uncover what's really going on once and for all. The Indiana Fever have had an amazing season with remarkable highs and challenging lows, but nothing could have prepared them for the shock caused by NaLyssa Smith's actions, which many see as an unexpected betrayal. Smith's recent behavior has created friction within the team and has fans questioning the future of the Indiana Fever. We'll explore the controversy, fan and teammate reactions, and the potential consequences for both Smith and the Fever. It all started with a tweet. NaLyssa Smith posted a photo of herself in a purple car with the caption, "Purple looks good on us." This innocent post caught the attention of Paige Buchers, a standout college basketball player, who responded with fire emojis. Smith's reply, "You just gotta let him be delusional," sparked rumors about her future with the Fever. The timing was bad, as the Fever were celebrating Caitlin Clark's record-breaking 35-point game, securing the 6th playoff seed after an impressive 18-10 run following a poor 2-9 start. Instead of focusing on their resurgence, Smith's tweet brought attention to internal conflicts. Sources say Caitlin Clark confronted Smith about the tweet, questioning her commitment and highlighting Smith's dissatisfaction with her role and playing time. During the regular season finale against the Dallas Wings, Smith started the game, scored 8 points, and grabbed 6 rebounds in 19 minutes before being benched for the second half. Frustrated, she posted, "Fun while it lasted, babe," in response to her girlfriend's supportive message, hinting at tensions with teammates and coaching staff. The public reaction was swift and harsh. Fans flooded social media with calls for Smith's removal, using hashtags like #TeamCaitlin and #TeamNaLyssa. Many felt betrayed by her perceived lack of loyalty, especially given her strong performances and high expectations. Sports analysts debated whether Smith's actions were due to deeper team issues or mere miscommunication. Some defended her frustrations over reduced playing time, while others criticized her professionalism and its impact on team morale. Head coach Christy Sides is in a tough spot, trying to maintain team unity while addressing the backlash. She issued a statement about handling matters privately, but insiders say she's deeply concerned about the situation's impact on the playoffs. Several options are being considered: team meeting and reconciliation, addressing issues directly to encourage open communication, disciplinary action, ranging from fines to temporary suspension to reinforce team cohesion, trade speculations, exploring trade options, though Smith is under contract until 2026. Public apology. Smith could apologize publicly to mend relationships and quell fan outrage. Meanwhile, NaLyssa Smith remains active on social media. Fans are questioning her commitment to the game as she continues to clash out with her star teammate Clark. People are wondering, is this all because of jealousy, due to Caitlin stealing the spotlight? Smith's on-court performance has declined in the last season, averaging 10.5 points and 7.2 rebounds per game, down from last year's 15.5 points and 9.2 rebounds. Her playing time has also decreased from 30.7 minutes in 2022 to 25 minutes now. The Fever exercised their fourth-year option on her contract, securing her through 2025 with a salary increase next year. While her financial future with the team is secure, her role and satisfaction remain uncertain, as it's very likely we will not see her return after this upcoming season. Whether this incident becomes a catalyst for growth or a source of division depends on how the Fever, especially Smith and Clark, choose to move forward. This controversy also highlights the broader impact of social media on professional sports, reminding athletes to balance personal expression with professional responsibilities.